ALAMEDA Five things to take note of as the Raiders held a practice open to the media Tuesday for their final organized team activity of the off-season. After another closed session Wednesday, Raiders players and coaches will spend Thursday working with student-athletes from local high schools in a 7-on-7 tournament at the team facility. The Raiders will hold their mandatory minicamp next week, June 12 to 14, before adjourning until they report for training camp in late July. The drop-off between Derek Carr and the rest of the quarterbacks remains steep. Advertisement: no big surprise here. Connor Cook, after running third all last season, appears to have the lead over E.J. Manuel as Carr's backup based on practice reps. But Carr, healthy after struggling through a fractured transverse process a year ago, appears to be playing almost a different sport than his competitors. In a sense, that's a good thing. The Raiders need Carr to re-establish himself as one of the top players at his position. He has won over veteran linebacker Derek Johnson, an AFC West competitor with the Chiefs and now with the Raiders. He is a grinder. He is a very gritty quarterback, Johnson said. Usually you don't use those words for a quarterback. They re prima donnas, you can touch the quarterback. But he is a guy that leads this Rioter team really well. He gets along with everybody. It is always good being out there with DC. It remains to be seen if the Raiders can build an offense that will be effective if Carr were to be injured, although Gruden did actually win some games with Donald Hollis in 1998. The coaching staff is dying to get their hands on Khalil Mack. Mack remains a no-show for the voluntary phase, and it will be interesting to see if he risks fines for missing the mandatory minicamp. Gruden gets it. He knows what Mack is worth and why there is some legitimate business reasons for him to stay away as he awaits a long-term extension. Yet the head coach, as well as defensive coordinator Paul Guenther, would love to begin blending him into the new system. Or more accurately, begin building the new system around his skills. So they whistling in the graveyard, coaching what they have. Asked if he had heard whether Mack next week, Guenther said, "No, I have not. He'll have to work that out. I don't get involved too much. Like I said, I coach the guys that are here." In the meantime, the Raiders are talking up Tank Carradine and Vidal Brown as potential contributors at end. The Raiders want to be nearly as predictable. That goes for both sides of the ball. Guenther's defense includes much more in the way of different looks than the Dennis Allen, Ken Norton Jr., Jack Del Rio, John Pagano additions. As for Gruden, the myriad shifts and emotions are much more noticeable than they were under Bill Musgrave and dramatically more than what the Raiders did under Todd Downing. The different systems have forced both sides to learn how to think on the fly in the off-season, with the theory being they'll be much better prepared come Sunday afternoons. It's great to get that out on the practice field because you may only have one look that comes up on Sunday or that week or two that may come up before the game that you have to handle, Guenther said. Really, we're handling that right now in May and June. Talkin' football communication is stressed by every staff, and it was a buzzword under Allen, Del Rio, Norton and Pagano. But it's pretty obvious there's a lot of football being talked about among the current Raiders. You can't go a minute without seeing veteran players counseling young ones, passing along their knowledge, and that transcends the units they play for. Offensive and defensive players are questioning each other on what they're seeing, how to improve and what needs to get better. There's not a lot of chatter out there, Johnson said. There is not a lot of talking about stuff outside of football. It's all about football because we have a lot to learn. Especially with the young guys. I am always like, hey, what's the play? What do you need me to do on this? I love being around these guys. It's a cool atmosphere. Pinheiro looking strong. Eddie Pinheiro, the undrafted free agent place kicker out of Florida, looks to have the advantage over incumbent Giorgio Vecchio. During one team session, Pinheiro successfully converted attempts of between 45 and 50 yards 4 times before he missed, and Vecchio didn't get a chance. That doesn't mean to Vecchio isn't holding his own outside the media viewing time, but the Raiders were delighted to find Pinheiro undrafted and available, and the fact that his battery mate Johnny Townsend worked with him at Florida is also appealing.